And it has the Daytona 500 hashtag because I couldn't remove it, because when I put my title and the hashtags on my phone, it's very hard to edit, and I don't know what Haps could do to fix that, but I tried to remove the Daytona 500 hashtag and it would not let me. And um I'm sitting here in the dark because I have no power, and that means I have no heat, and that means I have no electricity for my medical equipment that I need to sleep with. And I don't understand why I can see light out my front windows if the power's out, but they said they're and the cold is also a migraine trigger. I should probably go get my hat and scarf and put them on immediately. I put on my gloves, but I don't have my hat and scarf on. And the phone is charging through the computer, which means the phone I don't know if that's the best idea to drain the power in my computer, because I don't have any of my backup batteries charged, which I'm a smart enough girl that I should know to charge my backup batteries. But when I'm dealing with depression from being home for over 11 months for being high risk in a pandemic, there's things I haven't done, like charge my backup chargers. So I don't know what to do. I could click on the computer, that would give me a little light, except the computer doesn't seem to be working either. And yes, it is quite dark in here, with except, like I said, I don't know if the building has a generator, if that's why the outside lights are still on. And I don't know if anyone's watching, because I can't I just can't. Like, I know people are without power, but I was hoping that mine was going to stay on, and it went out in the middle of the movie, so that was the end of the movie. And I did try to say, "Okay, let me watch the movie on my phone." It wouldn't let me because it needs the Wi-Fi. It would let me watch Golden Girls on Hallmark Channel, but it wouldn't let me watch the movie that I was watching. And panicking is not the thing to do. My head is starting to throb, and um there's a flashlight on my phone. There's a flashlight on my other phone. I don't know if I have any other flashlights. I do have a candle in my bathroom. But I have to be careful with candles because of the the candles can trigger my asthma. And I have 28 viewers on here. I don't know how many people are viewing on the computer. I'm going to try one more time. If I click on my like I click on the mouse, nothing happens, which means the computer, let me try to turn the computer on and see what happens. Wait. Okay, the computer just I got the screen on the computer. And I know that the worst thing you can do is panic, okay? And I'm aware of that. And let me put in my password. Let me see if I can pull up. Let me see if I can pull up. I don't know if my computer's going to work because it's on Wi-Fi and the Wi-Fi is out. Like there's like yes, I know the Wi-Fi is out. Um I'm going to just put in something in the browser, and it's going to say, I know it's going to say that the Wi-Fi is out, but let's just put in PGE. No internet. Okay? So at least there's a little bit of light. Um Well, I have 40 people viewing. Thank you for tuning in. I can't, the other phone has no service. The other phone is Wi-Fi only. So the only thing I have is this phone. And it's at 55% charge. And right now it's charging through the computer. So I don't know if the power, and I was given help to get a backup battery for my sleep apnea machine because medical insurance doesn't pay for it, but I haven't taken care of it yet because depression during a pandemic, it's been hard to get anything done. And I'm I know that it's important to manage that better, but um I know that if I have to go to sleep, first of all, I didn't wake up until 4 o'clock this afternoon, so I'm not really tired, but I do have some cold brew coffee if I need more caffeine. I do have some of that Chinese medical like Tiger Balm, and it's warming. So if I have to, I'll put it on like my wrists to like feel warmer. I have a coat. I don't have a winter coat right now, but I have a coat. I have a hat. I have a warmer hat. I have a scarf. I don't know whether the power, it says the power in my zip code won't be back on until the 16th, but it also says it was reported the other day, which this just happened at 12:10. And I didn't hear any car accidents, so I don't know what took the power out. And I don't see any comments on HAPS. So let me look. 5 messages. Okay. No, I'm not in Texas. I'm in Portland, Oregon, Southeast Portland. But Texas is also having a problem with storms. There's a lot of storms in the country right now. Hello from Daran. I don't know where that is, but hello, Randy. Thank you for tuning in. I'm trying not to panic because I have medical equipment that I can't use without power, and because I don't have a backup battery yet. Even though I was given some funds to get one, I haven't gotten one yet because I'm not managing being home alone when I'm disabled for over 11 months because I'm high risk for COVID, but I'm not eligible for a vaccine yet. And so first of all, I know that freaking out is not the thing to do because I don't want to get a migraine. And one of the things that is a migraine trigger is cold, getting too cold. It's in Saudi Arabia. Well, thank you for tuning in. We're having a problem here. There's an ice and snowstorm, and my power went out 23 minutes ago, and I don't know when it's going to come back on. And I was saying that I've been having trouble sleeping at night during the pandemic, so I didn't get up today till 4 o'clock, so I'm not tired. But if I have to sleep without the medical equipment for complex sleep apnea, the best thing to do is to sleep sitting up. Like if you're on a plane and you're sitting up, you're less likely to have a problem where you're not breathing properly if you sleep sitting up. So right now I'm just more concerned that like I'm more concerned that I don't panic and make the situation any worse. So I came on here and I don't have any Wi-Fi right now. So my other phone won't work. My tablet, which is not charged, won't work. My computer my laptop has no internet. My cable is out. So I only have my phone, which is charging right now through my computer. And I don't know. There's people that have been out of power with their power out since several days now, and it could take 10 days for them to get it back on. And I hope that's not my case because I'm very sensitive to temperature, and it was only 68 degrees in my living room before the power went out. And my power is electric, so there's no heat in here. I don't have it like um so number 1, the first thing is don't panic. People don't drown because they can't swim. Well, they do drown if they don't know how to swim, but they also can drown if they panic, even if they know how to swim. So this is not the time to panic. I was already getting frustrated with my ADD and watching Valentine's Day movies, and I guess I was hoping that the power outage wouldn't be me, even though I know, like I said, there are people that have been without power. So let me think. If there's anybody who's watching on Twitch or Periscope or Twitter or YouTube or Facebook, if you comment, I'll know you're watching. But if you comment on Facebook, it'll just say Facebook user. So if you comment on Facebook, tell me who you are, because I can't check on my computer to see who's watching on Facebook because I have no internet. So, hey, maybe I'll get my Habs challenge because I'm already up to 68 viewers. But to get actually any answers as to why I don't have any power other than that there's an ice storm, I kind of was getting scared at 7 o'clock on Saturday morning because I've never seen it this bad. My bedroom window and my bathroom window were iced over to the point where they wouldn't open. But now they did. Well, my bathroom window did open yesterday. What you're calling a vaccine is still technically an experiment. Thank you, Lee Arthur. And hello from Periscope, Randy. And make music. If you want to start with me about the vaccine, you can leave. So this is an opportunity for me to not yell at anyone on my live stream. But I will tell you, if anyone comes in here and says Trump 2024, they're getting blocked. And if anyone starts with any conspiracy theories, like, I don't need to give myself a tight chest, which is how I handle stress. I feel it in my chest. But no, it's not technically an experiment. It has an emergency use authorization, and don't come on my broadcast and fuck with me, or you will be blocked as soon as I figure out how to get my power back on and block people on here. And I'm sorry for the bad language, but that is not supportive. And now my head's throbbing more. Hello, Randy Horton from Periscope. Lee Arthur Gammons, I think, are you watching on Twitter? I think that, oh yeah, Periscope or Twitter, I think that's what the blue like thing like this looks like. It's like a, what's it called? It's like a rectangle that goes up and down. Brandy, are you on Periscope and Haps? Because it looks like the one up top looks like you were on Haps too. That out stuff means I have no generator. I have no fireplace. I will not have heat until they turn it back on. Lee, you're on Periscope? Okay, thank you for watching. If anyone has, like, I don't know. I mean, I already called the PGE and they said that they were investigating the cause of the power outage. So, yeah. Do I even have a hat in this room? Hold on a second. I might have a hat in my bag with PPE. Let me see if it's there. Okay, I found a compression stocking. Let me see if I have another compression stocking. That will at least make me a little warmer. And let me look and see if I have a hat in here. I have a baseball hat. Okay, there's a hat. Whoa, my sunglasses are in that hat without a case. Let me see. And now I'm feeling dizzy, but that's a medical issue I deal with. Okay, I'm going to put on this hat. And I'm going to put on my hood, and I'm going to look for my other compression stocking. And the light just went out on the computer, and it's much darker without that. Let me click that to turn it back on. And I don't even know where, I have a respirator, like, in terms of PPE, and it's not even in this bag. I don't know where it is. But let me, by the way, Woof Woof and Bear and Bo, they're very good. They don't panic about anything. Here's Woof Woof. Woof Woof's fine. Woof Woof doesn't panic. They said, we can't give you the Valentine's Day gift they got me till next week because of the ice and snow. They're fine. They're cool with everything. So let me see. Your CPAP broke, so it's best sitting up till I get them into, yeah. Like, yeah, if you can't, like if you're on a plane and you can't use a CPAP because they won't let you plug it into the plane power, it's like if you're sitting up, the doctor said it's not so much, it's less to worry about if you're sitting up. I have to take a Sudafed to fly to keep my ears like from being from my ears, and so I usually can't sleep on planes anyway. But yeah, if you have to sleep without it, sleep sitting up. Um, now okay, I know that Woof Woof said hello. Where's Bear? Bear, where did you go? Okay, here's Bear. Bear's here. Bo's in the hallway. Bo's fine too. Everybody's fine except the only person that's tending to panic is me. So I'm going to put these compression stockings on because A, they help circulation, and B, it's another layer to keep me warmer because there's no longer any heat in here. So hold on a second. If anyone is like, has access to Wi-Fi, can you go and look at Portland, Oregon, Portland General Electric, and see how widespread the outage is and how long it's going to take to get back on? Because if I go to my other screen, I'll lose my broadcast. I'll probably lose a broadcast anyway because the memory on my phone. I need a new battery, and I've been too scared to take a bus and put my name on a list at the Apple Store and wait hours for them to replace the battery, so I haven't done it. But if anyone has the ability to look at Portland, Oregon, Southeast Portland, and see what they're saying about the outage, let me put my compression stockings on. This is a backup pair. My other pair is in the other room. See if I can put them on. These gloves are light compression, fingerless gloves. So I'm going to see if I can put these compression stockings on without taking off the gloves. Let me try. Can't see anything in the dark. Hello to the viewers and the replay viewers. My power is out, and my heat is out, and my cable is out, and my Wi-Fi is out. And I'm trying, I was on camera, but I'm putting on my compression stockings to try and be a little bit warmer and have better circulation in the, because I'm very sensitive to heat and hot and cold. It doesn't, the ice is worse than the snow in Portland, and it doesn't happen that often. I think they had like a cross-country impromptu ski race like yesterday because they only do it when there's snow, and it only happens like it was 4 years ago the last time it snowed like this with ice. And I had to attend my father's funeral in an ice storm, like be a passenger in a car from DC to Philadelphia the day of an ice storm, and I would not have gotten in that car if it weren't my father's funeral because I thought I was going to die that day too. And I don't think, now I'm starting to hyperventilate, that, yes, I will calm down. I don't think that there was any snow in Portland that year. And then I went and to the East Coast, and there was an ice storm, like, and we had to be a passenger from DC to Philadelphia. Yeah. That was 6 years ago. Let me see, is there any more new comments? They're working fast. They're working fast. They didn't give time. Thank you. Randy, you're not on Periscope? Thank you for checking. Hello from Queens. Queens, New York. Hello, Queens. I'm trying to put on my other compression stocking. The power's out, the heat's out, the cable's out. Everything's like, I didn't go and check and see why there's lights outside. Like, I guess the street lights aren't out, but hold on, I'm putting on the other compression stocking. It helps both my circulation and it's a layer of being warmer. I probably, like, yeah. Hello to the viewers and the replay viewers. Thank you for tuning in. There's a snow and ice storm in Portland. It was 31 degrees last I checked, and the power went out where I am, and it came back on a minute later and then went out again, and it's been out ever since. And that was 37 minutes ago, and I'm trying to not panic. And let me put this other sock back on. And breathing in a paper bag actually does help if you're panicking, like hyperventilating, panicking, not asthma. But in terms of emergency, I have my backpack with my asthma inhaler and my medicine right next to me if I need it. I'm going to take this cushion off the chair. Still having trouble with this chair. Okay. Hello. So last time the power went out was a long time ago, and it didn't come back for hours, and that wasn't even an ice storm. I don't believe that was an ice or snowstorm. So should I look? I'm just gonna go like this. I don't think it'll cut off the broadcast, and see if anybody said that their power's out too. It says rotating power outages. If it's rotating, that means they're doing it on purpose in Texas. So and I will tell you, I'm in an apartment, and yes, I have no heat, but I'm not out in the middle of nowhere in a snowstorm. If you're in the middle of nowhere in a snowstorm, don't stay on your phone on a live stream and run your battery down, because it could be in the difference between you living through that situation or not. Get on your live stream, like, for if you can get on your live stream and have it broadcast to all your networks. Like, say your car breaks down in the snow somewhere in freezing temperatures, and you can get on and tell people your location and say you need help, but then get off and turn your phone off so that you don't run your battery down, because that, like I said, could save your life to have access to that phone. Because if my phone dies, like, it just means sitting in my apartment. If you're in a car in a snowstorm, and especially if your car breaks down, like, or like is stuck and nobody knows where you are, only use your phone to tell someone where you are so they can send help, but don't sit on your live stream and run your phone down. And I know that I've just repeated that, but anyway, and I don't like not having access to any of my other technology, because my computer does not work without Wi-Fi. My other phone and my tablet do not work without Wi-Fi. My backup chargers do not work if I never charge them. And yes, you should keep them charged, especially during a snow and ice storm. So, where are you tuning in from for the people? You're in Washington? Where in Washington? And like my power's out in Southeast Portland and my heat runs on electricity. Where are you in like what are my thoughts on the winter storm? Well, my thoughts were that when I was sitting here watching Hallmark Channel movies in my heated apartment, I was like not so upset. But then when the power went out, which means the heat goes out and the lights go out, and I can't use my medical equipment for sleep apnea to go to sleep, that's when I'm like going to manage my anxiety. So my thoughts on the winter storm are that I don't like it and that there hasn't been like I was saying, I've never seen it so bad where my windows iced over in my bathroom and bedroom and I couldn't even open them on Saturday morning. But the bathroom window did open after that, like once it was light outside and it got a little warmer. But like right now, my thoughts are that I need to not panic because it's not going to help anything. And that if I have to go get my warmer coat, my warmer hat, or my coat and put them on and sit under a blanket, because if I get too cold, it will trigger my medical issues because I'm disabled and I'm sensitive to hot and cold. And like right now, I have on these are light compression gloves. I have on a hat. I have on a hood. I have on compression stockings and socks. It's an opportunity to not panic, right? So you're in Washington. How is the weather in Washington? Like I said, my head is throbbing. I don't know if it's throbbing because I didn't have that much caffeine today, and the caffeine actually helps that because I think inflammation is what makes it throb. Also, after 11 at night, it starts doing that, and lying down helps. But if you have sleep apnea and you can't use your medical equipment, you can't lie down. You have to stay sitting up. So then, if you fall asleep sitting up, you won't stop breathing. So my phone is at 48% and it's still charging through the computer that is not charging because the power is out. And all the emergency backup methods people have don't work if you don't keep them in working order. Like if you don't charge your backup batteries, they're not going to work in an emergency. And I don't think I should try to charge my battery through the computer because it's just going to run down the computer faster. Why is my power out? Probably because there's an ice and snowstorm here. And they were saying there was freezing. They were expecting freezing. There was a third ice storm warning as of 1 p.m. this afternoon. And they said that there was going to be freezing rain. The difference between freezing rain and sleet. Oh, you're welcome. The difference between freezing rain and sleet is, yeah, I think Lee, I think you said your doctor told you that also about, um, or no, maybe you didn't because I see your comment now. Maybe your doctor didn't tell you. Yes, it's best to sleep sitting up if your CPAP machine broke till you get a new machine. Don't lay down and sleep without it. Um, and okay, I was saying that the difference between sleet and freezing rain is sleet comes down as like hail is like ice. and sleet is also frozen. Freezing rain freezes before it hits the ground. Like when it comes to the atmosphere, at some point it freezes before it hits the ground. So that's freezing rain. I've even seen hail here in June. And the other mistake I made is I should have used my humidifier so that the humidity would have been higher in here, because warm air humidity, you're going to feel less cold than it when it's 18-19% humidity and 68 degrees. But I didn't do that either, because if you just joined, I've been home for 11 months. I'm disabled, I'm in a high risk category, and I have not managed my anxiety and depression as well as I would have liked. But when you lose access to your weekly acupuncture appointments and monthly chiropractic appointments and are left to basically deal with everything yourself, apparently a 100-year pandemic isn't good for people that are disabled with anxiety and depression. So I have 119 viewers. I've been live for 31 minutes and the power is still out. Maybe I should, let me see. Oh, I know what I have. This doesn't work if you don't remember you have it. You hear that? It's a space blanket from acupuncture. It holds in heat. I'm gonna put it over my legs and I'm gonna put it over me. All right, you see the space blanket? There. If you don't remember you have it, then it's not gonna help. Let me put it over my legs. All right, I'm swiping down for notifications to see if it says anything. I don't see anything. My power's probably out. I didn't hear a crash. I didn't hear like a transformer blow. It was, some people were saying they couldn't sleep all night wherever they were because I guess they were hearing transformers blow or some kind of noise all night, like Friday night. But probably the ice on the power lines took down the power lines, unless somebody hit a power line. Like the ice, like when tree branches get heavy and then they come down and they are on the road and they take down power lines. Also, these outdoor seatings for the restaurants that were set up for, like, when I ended up homeless fighting my disability case back in 2002, at one point I was sleeping in a tent outside until the tent collapsed from the snow and then flooded from the rain. Because if the rain, like there was a tarp over it, but it got filled up with rain and then it collapsed, the tent, like it collapsed. And what's happening is a lot of these outdoor seating areas, they have gotten like taken out by the weight of the snow and the snow and the ice. And they also said that, what did they say? Oh, Portland was given permission to open restaurants for indoor seating at 25% capacity at Friday, but most restaurants couldn't open because of the snow and ice storm that hit. Did I call the power company? Yes, I called the power company when the power went out, and they said that they were investigating the cause. And I also looked on the website, but the report from my zip code said it was reported several days ago and won't be fixed till the 16th. But that doesn't seem like my situation, since my power went out 50 minutes ago. So this is a good thing. This, when you go to acupuncture, they're like, they can't use them on other patients where at my clinic, so they throw them out. But I asked to take them home, and it's a good thing to keep, if, like, because it helps hold in heat, like if the heat is out or if you're in a car and like you get stranded. So it's a good emergency resource. I am the most resourceful person I know, but I also tend to panic and then sometimes forget things like that I have this space blanket sitting right next to me and it would be good to use it. So I don't feel warm, but I'm sure the temperature has not dropped in here very much yet. It was 68 with 19% humidity before the power went out. And like I said, I should have used my warm air humidifier because it would have raised the humidity and made it feel warmer in here. It's also good for like avoiding respiratory problems, like dry air is more of a risk for COVID than humidified air, in case you didn't know that. I guess I don't think it would be a good idea to sit in a bathtub because the water heater would keep the water warm for like a certain amount of warm water would still be in there. But when you get out of a hot tub, you get colder, so that would not be a good plan. That's why in the summer, if you get overheated, people think to take a cold shower. And my acupuncture provider told me to take a hot shower because when you get out of a hot shower, you actually cool off. I'm talking when it gets to like 100 degrees inside. So I have 127 viewers and no power, no Wi-Fi, no internet, but I have food. And also, if your power goes out, don't open your refrigerator and freezer if you don't have to, because it keeps in the cold air. Not that anything's really gonna go bad if it's like my phone has a problem. So let me make sure none of my other apps are open because they open themselves. Wait, let me well, I don't want to look at the outage list because because the outage list will shut down my broadcast. Um, I hear something out there. It's 1 a.m. here. Where you are, do you have a snow and ice storm also? You know what would also be a good plan had I thought of it? Well, to make something hot and put it in a thermos so then you have something hot to drink if the power goes out because microwaves and electric stoves all run on electricity. And those hand warmers, the ones that you shake, those would be good in an emergency, but I don't have any. I had some in my coat, but I think that they got I don't think they work. I know I'm not freezing to death. It was 68 degrees when the power went out and it's 31 degrees outside, so it's not gotten that much colder in here, I'm sure. I have a thermometer. It probably, what does it say? I could see if I can. This dizziness is something I deal with on an ongoing basis, but what does it say? 67, 19% humidity, which is low, but it's 67 degrees, which means it only dropped 1 degree. I'm not going to die in 67-degree temperatures. So if anyone's tuning in and you're on an app, if you comment, then I can see your comment on here. On Facebook, it'll say Facebook user. So if you're commenting from Facebook, you can tell me who you are, because I can't go on Facebook to check since my computer doesn't have Wi-Fi right now because my power's out. That means my phone's out too, because my phone, does my phone have an emergency battery? Like, let me see if my phone has a ringtone. Let me, my home. Whoa! Sorry, you guys, I dropped the phone. But my home, and also the darkness is like making me feel more dizzy. But whoa, my phone, in case of people, they only have cell phones and then they cut off their home phone, but my home phone's on, like, it's connected to my cable. So I don't know if there's an emergency backup for, like, say your power's out. Does your phone work? Is there 911 service? I don't know. Let me pick up my phone and see if there's a dial tone. Hold on. No, there's no dial tone. The battery in there is low, but I don't think the phone works when there's no. If I plug the phone, okay, that's a wired phone, which means if I unplug the phone from the box and plugged it directly into the wall, I still don't think it'll work because my phone service is through my cable system. Because if you plug the phone directly in the wall, it'll work. The kind of phone I have is not a cordless phone, because cordless, you need electricity for it to work. This kind of phone will work if you plug it directly in the wall, but I don't think I have wall service. I think I have service through my internet provider, which means the phone's not going to work now either. These are things that people may not think about in terms of an emergency, that they may not have access to their phone. And I was also thinking the other day, if my windows are frozen shut, like, what if there's a medical emergency and actually um the manager helped an ambulance that was not, it was coming for someone else. It was going like, I don't know where it was going to help someone, but got stuck in the ice and snow, and they helped it, and it was only like a few blocks from here where they helped it. So anyway, and right before that, someone was trying to get someone to ride home from the emergency room, because medical transportation is a day behind in terms of rides, because there are very few people that are out there giving medical transportation rides in this weather. They even shut down the bus and light rail system Friday night, which it's very unusual for they shut down the whole system. If you hold on a second, if I lose a broadcast, you have 2 minutes to reconnect before you lose it. I want to put a message and see if anyone else's power's out, okay? Hold on a second. Say power is out. Is anyone else out? Let me see. replies. My phone is at 41% charge. My broadcast has 137 views. Maybe I'll get my Habs Challenge, the first broadcast of the week, because I think it changes at midnight. Let me see if anyone replied. Should I see if there was an email from the manager? Hold on a second. Let me check and see if the manager. There was no message from the manager. Let me see if anyone replied to my Facebook post. But if I emailed the owner and the manager and told them the power went out at 12:10 a.m. and that I have contacted PGE. Someone said that a tree fell in their backyard and luckily didn't hit their house. I had that happen here where a tree in like 5 seconds luckily didn't come through my big window, but that but that was not today with me, but it was just now with them. They said the tree fell and luckily didn't hit their house, but they're having their kids come into their room in case the rest of the tree comes down. So I don't know if anyone is on here. Like, I don't know if the local news, I guess there's some things I can get on my phone. I don't know. In terms of local news broadcasts, I don't know that they're broadcasting the weather right now, but I could get it on my phone without my Wi-Fi. Certain stations, if I go direct, like if I use my data, I can get the stations on my phone. I don't know if anyone's on here. I'm going to check again, and I don't think they're going to reply to the email, but let me check the email and see if anyone posted a response to the Facebook about, hello, Ray Alexander. Thank you for subscribing. I'm trying to find out how many people where I live are out of power because the power is out here, which includes the heat and the Wi-Fi and the cable. All right, let me see if they replied. Hold on a second. Transformer about an hour ago. Their power is still on, but they saw a transformer explode about an hour ago, which is when my power went out. So let me see if they, yeah, I went online and I put in my zip code and it listed an outage that started several days ago that won't be resolved till the 16th. So I don't think that was helpful, but thank you. I already did put my zip code in the PGE zip code. Let me see if they replied to the email. I doubt it. They're probably sleeping, but let me let me just check. They didn't reply to the email, but I don't necessarily expect them to reply to that email. But the people that are on Facebook in the neighborhood, someone did reply and say transformer blue. So how long does it take to fix a transformer? Should I look on the PGE? Like, they're supposed to text me when there's an update. Let me look. I'm going to pull down to see if there's any notifications. Yeah, I don't, there was nothing. Let me see if anyone else replied on Facebook. I still don't understand why there's light outside. Are the lights on the building on a generator so that if the power goes out, they still work? I don't think that's street light. Is it building light or street light? And is there a backup generator? This crinkly is it's a space blanket from acupuncture that is good to keep heat in. There were transmission lines down and like 4,000 number wires down. What does that, Lee, thank you, but what does that mean? Transmission lines at 4,408 number wires down. Does that mean houses without power or what? There's 4,000 wires down. Is this when I should eat more chocolate since it was Valentine's Day and my Valentine's Day order is delayed for a week because of the ice and snow? I was saying that Portland restaurants got permission to open at 25% capacity Friday, but most of them couldn't open because of the ice and snowstorm. And then the outside seating, a lot of it got got affected by the snow and ice. The weight of the snow and ice collapsed some of the tents. 4,000 wires down? How long is it going to take to fix 4,000 wires? I'm not yelling at you. I get easily frustrated. Managing frustration is one of my goals, managing it better. Okay, thanks. Yeah, Woof Woof and Bear and Bo apparently ordered me something for Valentine's Day that's delayed by a week. So I'll show you when I get it. But they're calm. They're fine with having to wait a week to give it to me. So my head is throbbing. But Bear, no, that's Woof Woof. Woof Woof's saying hello. Woof Woof's fine. Except, why are you on here, Woof Woof? Oh, Woof Woof sleep. 4,408 lines down. I was going to say, why is Woof Woof on here? But Woof Woof came on here to reassure me that everything's fine. Because Woof Woof goes to bed at 9:30, but when the power goes out, he thought he should get on my broadcast and say it's all going to be fine. Same with Bear, if you were wondering why Bear was on here so late. Although sometimes when Woof Woof can't sleep, I saw him broadcasting Watching Live with Kelly last week at 3 o'clock in the morning. What was that about? But sometimes Woof Woof sleeps on the broadcast because people tend to come in to say hi to him. 2,500 workers. Thank you for the information. I appreciate it. That's one of the things that I did with Periscope, was we'll get out there like information that people might not have. So thank you for getting me some information. 2,500 workers and 4,400 down lines. That's a lot. Yeah, I appreciate it. What kind of chocolate was I eating? I'll see if I can't see in the dark, but where is the chocolate? What does it say? Wait a minute. It says 72 degrees. That's because it was sitting on the computer. That's not the room temperature. And look, the humidity went down to 16. But that's because it was sitting on the computer. So that's really interesting. But that's not, the room temperature is 60. What was it? 67. Didn't it just say, does it say 76 or 67? Can't read it backwards. Let me see. That's not, it says 74. That's not right. That's because it was on the computer. Let me put it, where should I put it? I'll put it next to my PPE. Where did the chocolate go? I had chocolate and I put it somewhere, but now I don't even see it because I can't see very well in the dark. I had this ginger ale. Let me see if there's any left. No, it's empty. So it's important to know where things are so that if you have to find them in the dark, you can. And I could find my coffee in the dark, like some cold brew coffee that's, I know where it is if I need it. Where's the chocolate though? Let me see. It was right here. Well, here it is. This kind of chocolate. Honey Mama's Peruvian rock, cocoa nectar bar. I'll show you. Since it's Valentine's Day, I ate a third of it, but it's very oily because I think in the refrigerator, can you see it? In the refrigerator, the oils, what's the word for it? The oils like came off onto the packaging. So how long does it take to fix 4,408 lines? That probably is going to take quite a while. My phone's at 35%. Should I stay on here and try to get 250 live views? Should I watch the figure skating that I missed earlier today? I think it'll still be there to watch tomorrow on the NBC Sports app. Well, the U.S. Figure Skating Championships that they had in a bubble in Las Vegas at the casino, or like one of the casinos, the exhibition skate from January, they showed it on TV today. But I was up till 10 o'clock this morning because I've been having trouble sleeping, and so I think that the feed is up there to watch on. If you go to NBCSports.com, the feed is there to watch the replay. It's very quiet, I'll tell you that. I didn't look to see if everyone else's power is out, but I assume it is. I assume the only lights I'm seeing are the buildings. Like the out. I'm assuming the lights that light the buildings are on a generator or backup power. More than 115,000 power outages were reported Friday night. What about Sunday? It's oily because it's natural chocolate with coconut oil. And if you leave it out, it'll melt. But then you can put it back in the freezer. You look? Okay, I'm going to look real quick and see if anyone replied on Facebook. power is out. Some people said their power is not out. Someone else saw the flash. They said it was very bright and eerie when the transformer blew. So that person who saw it still has power, but someone else said they don't have power. And they aren't that far from here. So I'm starting to get colder, but I'm going to look one more time about, see if there's an email reply, but then I'm not going to check the email again. Hold on. Blue bar that says end broadcast, but it came back on. And the HAPS trick is, if you have a problem with your phone memory like I do, my backup is my computer. It won't work right now because the Wi-Fi is out. But if I go into my own broadcast on the computer, even if the phone dies, it gives you 2 minutes to sign back in. But if my phone's having a problem with the memory, if I'm on my computer and I have them both on, I won't lose the broadcast if you're trying to do the HAPS challenge. It's saying my Wi-Fi is on, or my, now it's saying poor fare for my, they said that T-Mobile bought Sprint, and if you go, you can get, I didn't know that there were SIM cards in these phones, but they say you can replace the SIM, they can replace the SIM card that'll give you the T-Mobile network. You also have access to the T-Mobile Tuesdays, the app that has like the discounts and the free items on Tuesdays. It also gives you, I think, free texting on flights, not that I'm going anywhere. The light from the computer that's behind me is making there be more light on my broadcast. Because when the light dimmed, my face dimmed. Hello to the viewers and the replay viewers. I'm in Portland and there's an ice and snowstorm. It was the third round of ice and snow. And the power went out here an hour and 24 minutes ago. And so right now I have, what's not working is my heat, my electricity, which is electric heat, my medical equipment to sleep with for sleep apnea, my home phone, which is connected to my cable system. Like, if the internet's down, the phone doesn't work. Although I should take that phone sometime and plug it into the wall and see if there's any emergency ability to use that phone, but I don't think there is. No Wi-Fi, no cable TV, no TV. Well, I could watch TV on my phone, but I didn't charge my backup battery, so my phone, okay. There's a lot of down trees, all I've seen so far. Okay, thank you. Yeah, and trees that are like nearly missing people's houses when they're coming down. I hear something. Let me check the battery on my computer. The crinkly is the space blanket. 44 minutes remaining on my computer battery. Is this the point where I should shut off my broadcast before it gets to 250 and save my power, or stay on here in case anyone hears any news, or hears any news that they want to pass along? It looks like some people's Wi-Fi did not go down, but mine did. Let me see if I can find that again, where it showed the Wi-Fis. There's a public Wi-Fi that's unlocked, but it only has one bar. Xfinity Wi-Fi. Hundreds of thousands without power as ice storm warning remains in effect in Portland today. Thank you, Lee. Am I saying your name right? Because the first letter looks like a capital I. It looks like Lee, but it's not a capital L. Hundreds of thousands without power. I'm taking a screenshot of that as ice storm warning remains in effect in Portland today. Yeah, the third round went into effect at 1 p.m. today. Yes, okay. Oh, it's Arthur Lee. Okay. Well, is your name Arthur or is it Lee? Now that Xfinity Wi-Fi I said that was on there with one bar unlocked, which is not necessarily safe to use, it's not even there anymore. But it looks like the building next door still has their Wi-Fi. And that's another thing. When I said that my head is throbbing and laying down helps my head, but I can't lay down if I go to sleep without the sleep apnea equipment. I have to sleep sitting up, which is not good for my head throbbing. I guess at that point, maybe I should leave on my compression stockings and my compression gloves. You're not supposed to sleep with them, but I have to sleep sitting up. Maybe I should leave them on to help my circulation, like I would on a plane. There's a mute button on here. Should I mute myself for a minute and like go check on, see if I can tell like anything? By mute, I mean there's like the mic. You can turn the mic on and off. Let me see if anyone else replied on Facebook. Have power. And the people that are like a block away from me, their power's flickering on and off, but they still have power. But then there's whole blocks that down in the Hawthorne neighborhood where like one side of the street, the power's completely out and the other side of the street has power. That means my friend's power's probably out. Restored to 155,000, but 221,000 were still in line, and mine went out after that because there's a transformer that blew about an hour ago from what I'm reading. About half the people that replied said they have power, and about half the people in my neighborhood said they don't. Let me see if my neighbor, like my friend, I don't think she has power either. Let me see if she replied. How long would it take to get a backup battery? If I was given money to buy a backup battery to help me with my medical equipment, I could probably call tomorrow I don't know if if the weather clears enough that there's deliveries, maybe that would be something I should get like right away, because I should power hasn't gone out here in a while and I hadn't taken care of that yet. Someone said they're leaving their fireplace on because they have a gas fireplace but an electric starter, which means if they turn it off, they won't be able to turn it back on, and they think their power is probably going to go out by the morning. So I've had 184 viewers. Hello to the viewers and the replay viewers. I'm sitting here talking to Lee, who's being kind enough to check on, well, Arthur or Lee is being kind enough to check on the situation since my power went out and I have no internet or Wi-Fi or, yeah. I was going to show you if I can find it. If I it's important to know where things are because you might have to feel for them in the dark. But that isn't, that feels like a measuring tape. That's not, okay, this. This is red Tiger Balm, which is warming. I'm going to put a little on my wrist because it might warm me up a little bit. Hold on a second. I'm putting a little under my nose and on my chest. And behind my ears. The places where I usually put the essential oils, only I put it a little bit higher on my wrist because of these compression gloves. Okay, that Xfinity Wi-Fi with 1 bar's back. It could take a week. If I click on this, let me see. I don't want to click on anything that's, I'm going to close my email because if I click on the public Wi-Fi, I don't want it getting any information off my computer. But maybe that's not a good plan. Let me see. So even just that, I feel like it tingling under, on my cheeks from that Tiger Balm. 1:50 a.m. All right. Oh, I have a call at 1:50. Oh, if anyone wants to go to Global Podfest for free, I should type the link in my chat. Um, you're on Twitter. If you want a link, Lee, you can send me a direct message and I'll get you a link to get a free Global Podfest conference ticket. Anyone who wants a code for a free ticket can send me a DM on whatever they're watching on. You can't DM on Haps though. I think it's actually in my bio, the link. I think the link for the free ticket link, I think it's in my Haps bio. So look there first. Okay. Yeah, look there. I don't think I can look right now while I'm on here, but I believe I copied the whole, like I put the information on my HAPS profile. Unless I put it on my Clubhouse profile, but I thought I put it on here. If not, I can add it when, like, if not, I can add it, but if you can also send me a DM, because it's the last week of February and the first week of March, and we got a world record last year for having 5,000 attending a virtual conference, and they're trying to get another world record for 10,000. And it lets you go to the meetups and like the talks. You don't get the replays, but you get to go to all the talks live and the meetups. So there's a lot of things you can do for 2 weeks for free with it. Like it gives you the $49 entry ticket free or $49 off any other ticket. And like I don't have a podcast, but like I'm on here and a lot of times I'm broadcasting audio only. So there's a lot of things that I found useful. Like they told me use your YouTube page. Like have a Facebook fan page, and I didn't, like I did listen to them, and I now do have a Facebook fan page. It's at Harvard Journal, facebook.com/Harvard Journal and the number 2. That's my fan page, and I have a YouTube. My YouTube is either Harvard Journal or Harvard Journal 2, and I only had like 3 or 5 followers on there, but this is being live streamed to YouTube right now, and they're not gonna say copyright violation for music because there's no music playing right now. I stopped broadcasting most of my things to YouTube because they keep saying, well, it doesn't count against your account, but we've blocked your broadcast because this was playing in the background and it's a copyright violation. So I've just not, a lot of times I turn off the YouTube link. But you can't go live on YouTube until you have 1,000 followers. But if you link it to HAPS, you can go live on YouTube with only 5 followers, which is cool. And now they've added Twitch, so I'm live on Twitch. So hello to the Twitch viewers. And hello to the Facebook viewers and the Periscope and Twitter on both of my Twitter accounts. Because I follow international figure skating and the algorithm only lets you follow a certain amount unless more people follow you. So I had to have a second Twitter. So Harvard Journal with the number 2 is my main account that I like, the one I use mainly. But my original, the Harvard Journal account, is also mine. And I was going to post that link for the Podfest tickets in a pinned tweet, but I didn't get that far in my day. And I know someone who was supposed to get the COVID vaccine today, but I don't know that they're going to be able to get it. And I don't know if I'm going to be able to go to my medical appointment on Tuesday, although they said the weather should change and like maybe the streets will be fine by Tuesday afternoon. I don't know yet. All right. My phone is at 19%. And like I said, if I were stranded out in the cold weather, I would have to turn off my phone and save my battery. But since I'm not out in the weather, I'm going to see if I can get the HAPS challenge because I'm up to 191 viewers. We're talking about the weather, me and Lee and whoever else wants to talk about the weather. And yeah, I'm getting a warm, tingly feeling from putting that. Now my phone says low battery, 20%. It's feeling warm and tingly because I put the right here. And actually, that Tiger Balm, I believe, has the Vaseline base in it, which I normally don't use. But in this case, it will keep me warmer. I try to use coconut oil. That also can warm you up. Like if you rub it into your hands and your feet. Last time my power went out was a long time ago, and it wasn't back on till like 6 in the morning. But I don't think it was a day when I was worried about the temperature. What does my thermometer say now that I took it off the computer? Where it was on my bag of PPE. Okay, here. Save the battery, shut the phone on. Yeah. That might be smart in case I actually had to make an emergency phone call. Let me see. What does it say? 65 degrees, 17% humidity. Right. I'll make you a deal. Not that I'm making not that I'm playing let's make a deal. My phone's at 19%. I think that what Lee just said is wise advice that if this phone gets down to 10%, I'm going to shut the broadcast off, whether it's a 250 or not, because I don't want to be left without the ability to make an emergency phone call, especially since with my battery issue on my phone, sometimes it goes dead really quick from like 10% to zero. So if it was, if it were you, you would save your battery. Well, I'm at 19%. I have 196 viewers, and the computer, let me see what the computer says. The computer's still charging the phone. But I appreciate your good advice. Let me take a look. See, it just said 20% again. All right, let me see. What does it say? I can't even see. It says 48 or 43 minutes remaining. So I'm going to keep an eye on that. And I just heard another loud noise, which is either another transformer blowing or someone fixing it. I also, like I said, have to be careful with the migraine triggers, but that keeping your hands and feet warm can help you with migraines. So that Tiger Balm will help with that also. Although now I'm like getting all stuffed up, which um it's 2 o'clock in the morning. Um, let me see if anyone else in the neighborhood said anything. Hold on a second. I don't know. It's 4 a.m. there. I don't know. Did you say you're in Texas? Are you having storms there? And what about when they say rolling outages, it sounds like they're turning the power off on purpose, like in California they did that with the wildfires, so that the fires wouldn't spread. But when I did the HAPS challenge 2 weeks ago, it took me 8 hours. My broadcast, you know how I said the phone dies, and I had it hooked to, then I figured out how to hook it up to the computer, but my browser crashed, and when the browser crashed, it took out the broadcast, and I had to start over, and I had 64 viewers. I had to start over, and the second broadcast, it took me 8 hours and 7 minutes to get 250 live views. Last week, it took me over 9 hours because I said I'm not turning this off till I get my views. And I even had a Zoom call where I muted it for 2 hours. And I was playing my game on there. But the game started flashing, like the Sox game started like flashing like it was using too much memory. But it's not like there's anything else. Well, the only other thing I could do is watch the skating on my phone, but we've already determined that's not a good use of the phone if it's low battery because I want to save the battery. Um, Still snowing. Do you have ice on the roads there like we do here? Yes, we have ice on the roads there. All right. And it was like down, like it was down to feeling like in the teens yesterday. I'm up to 199 views. And like I said, I don't normally look at the numbers except with the HAPS challenge. The 250 live views does get you the challenge for the week. But I'm also watching the numbers on the phone. It's at 16% battery, and like it said that the computer's going to last like 40 something more minutes. And so um I'm going to try and find all my backup batteries and charge them when the power comes back on. Because the definition of an emergency is you never know when you don't know when it's going to happen. 3 degrees, it feels like -15. When I was up in Canada years ago and it was like -40, -30, and like once you get down to those like temperatures, like -30 and 40 are pretty close, whether they're Celsius or Fahrenheit. I couldn't handle it. Like now, I don't know how, like there, like you can't keep the heat on high enough to keep it from feeling cold. And like I'm so temperature sensitive now with my medical issues. I couldn't do that. I don't know how anyway. And like I scratched my ear and like part of my ear peeled like because of like it was so cold that part of my ear peeled from like just a little bit, enough to scare me because it was so cold. Or like at the University of Illinois when it was so cold that like I would walk partway on campus and then have to like stop in a restaurant like the pizza place and then walk it to another. I think I actually took a cab home that day because it was so cold. Like 17 below. Like the first time I visited Chicago, it was like 17 or 19 below with like a -60 wind chill. I don't know why I thought that was a good place to be applying for college, but I hear something. Like it sounds like someone's shoveling snow at 2 in the morning. Like, do you think they're fixing the electricity? I don't know. Oh, thank you for the Stay Safe Award, Heavenly Dew. Power's been out here for 5 minutes less than 2 hours. And someone saw a transformer blow in the neighborhood right about the time I lost my power. It went out and the TV went out and it came back on. And then it went out a minute later and it's been out ever since. Could be what? I don't remember what I just said. Could be. Oh, they could be shoveling or fixing. Okay, the phone's at 14%. I have 202 views. Let me check what the computer says. Because I said when it gets down to 10% that I'm shutting it off, whether it's at 250 or not, because I want to be safe in case of an emergency. It says, I can't see. It says 40 minutes. Yeah, I heard something outside. I hear everything, but right now it's so quiet that like I don't hear anything except for this is, if anyone hasn't been watching the whole time, this is good to have in an emergency. It like folds up to like the size of a really small square, like a credit card size. and it's like Mylar, and they use it at acupuncture. It's a space blanket, and it holds in heat. So like, I don't have a winter coat right now. I was given some money to buy one, but I haven't gotten one yet, and I only have like a lighter coat. But I put this in my bag and take it with me when it's this cold, in case if because if I have to, I can put it under my coat to keep me like warmer. It does make a lot of noise, but it does hold in heat. They use it at acupuncture during the treatments, and at the one clinic, they have to throw it out after each person, and so they let me take it home instead. And I keep it for I keep one next to where I am now in case I get cold. Keep one when I go on the bus in case I get stuck somewhere. Like, that could literally save your life. Okay, the phone's at 14%. The power is still out. Now I'm just sounding like this is a recording. Oh, and yeah, joke's on you to the cable, because I didn't let it reset my TV the last 2 nights when it wanted to update at 5 a.m. because I was watching for that hearing, for the impeachment hearing Saturday morning. And then yesterday I was on there. What was I doing? I was like watching the commentary. Like, I was still awake watching the commentary last night, and you can only not let it skip 2 days in a row. But today it's going to skip because there's not going to be any cable at 5 a.m. probably. Wow. I'm hearing something that's kind of loud. Let me go. Phone's at 11%. If I want to be good to my word, I have to turn the phone off when it gets to 10%, even if it means that I'm going to have to take another 9 hours to get my 250 views. But let me just. That almost sounds like someone clearing off snow from their car, to tell you the truth. Normally I put the on the computer so I can see the statistics on the broadcast, but right now I can't do that with no Wi-Fi. Let me look. The phone's at 11%, and it said that the computer said it. If it says, I'm going to say, it says 36 minutes. And now it went up to 12%. If this phone goes below 10% and the computer says it has less than 30 minutes, I'm going to hang up, okay? But sometimes I go on Twitter and say, hey, I need 45 more viewers, help me out. But I'm certainly not going to do that when my phone is this low. And what are they doing out there? Okay, it says 23%, 34 minutes remaining, and 12%, and 205. Now it says 30 minutes remaining, and it's at 11%. I should turn off, well, if I close the browser, but the light I have right now is from the computer, I could light a candle. 32 minutes remaining. How did it go up 2%? 2 minutes. Should I change it to the best battery life to conserve battery? Let me do that. Power mode. How do I do that? I'm putting it all the way to it dimmed it. The PC is in battery saver mode. OneDrive sync is paused to help conserve battery life. Okay, good. See, I got darker because the light. Now it says 24 minutes remaining and 12%. All right. I mean 21%. Should I share it on Twitter once and then give up? Let me share it on Twitter once. 6 views. I'm sharing it once. In case you need your phone. What I just did, I should have thought to do sooner. I shut the power, the power, I put it on, it was updating things in the background that it didn't need. Let me make sure that this phone is on low. Okay, that phone, it's 19%. Like, I am like, yeah. It says 29 minutes remaining, but it was going up and like, when I put it on to save battery life on the computer, it stopped updating things in the background, which I didn't realize I should have done that sooner. But I shared it. I said, is the power out where you are? And then I said, I need 44 more views for the HAPS challenge. And I have 2 Twitters. I'm going to share it to the other Twitter. And like I said, I'm going to I'm being careful about this because now the phone's at 13%. And yeah, it went to 29 minutes, but then it went back up to 32. But I'm just going to share it to the other account. hit the mute button by accident. I said that I thought it was getting darker, but because the computer turns off the light sometimes, like the screensaver, it turns off regardless of whether it's on power or not. It says 25 minutes left on the computer and the 13% on the phone. I have 209 views. The noise outside stopped. Now I hear something else. And probably if I want to use a flashlight, I should get my other phone and use the flashlight on there, because the other phone was on the charger and it has no Wi-Fi. I mean, it has no service. So I should use that for the flashlight, because if I need to make a call, I can use this phone. I can't use the other phone to make a call. Yeah, because it's Wi-Fi only, and you can use Wi-Fi calling, but not if there's no Wi-Fi, if the power is out. I don't think you can call 911 on, you might be able to. There's some phones, actually, here's a tip. In an emergency, I believe you can call 911 on a cell phone that has no cell service. So I do believe that I could call 911 on that phone in an emergency. I just remembered that. All right, we're at 213 viewers. It's like a numbers game here. It's 16% on the computer, 10% on the phone, and 213 views, and 25 minutes left. You can, yes? Okay, you can, yes. Okay. And you're sure, like, I'm fairly sure that you can dial 911, which means I do have a way to call 911 in an emergency, even if this phone dies. What I should do is get that phone and turn it off to preserve its battery. Maybe, like, I'm trying to think, how can I sleep sitting up? Because I believe, like, you were the one that said you also have sleep apnea equipment. Yeah. What am I hearing? The other thing, that light on the computer is like some light in the room, because I actually leave my TV muted sometimes just to have extra light in the room. I need to get another light in, like I need an extra, like I'm light sensitive to too little or too much light, and I need to put an extra light in this part of the room. So Lee was telling me that there are a lot of people that were without power in Portland. I just was hoping I wasn't going to be one of them. Yeah. If wishes were horses, right? You ever hear that saying? %9 on the phone, 14% on the computer, 215 views, and the power is still out. This is now an exercise in futility, right? Although we have determined that I can still have access to a working phone in an emergency. Because you can call on that phone through the app. Like you can use the Comcast app and call on Wi-Fi, but you can call on the phone itself to 911. And my head is throbbing more. And I have 219 viewers now. What you're seeing is a person that has no access to anything except for a cell phone and a laptop because the power's out and has been for 2 hours and 19 minutes because there's an ice and snowstorm here. And it's 2:24 a.m. Do you broadcast on here? Maybe not, because if you want to download Haps and follow me on Haps, it'll give you 100 free coins just for downloading the app. But I was going to ask because whenever I put my title and the hashtags, it's very hard to edit that. It doesn't like it's just very hard to edit it. I don't know if it's my phone, but it would be almost easier to type a title and copy it and then paste it into that box rather than try to edit it if there's misspellings because it's very you can't see it. So what have we accomplished today, class? I watched 3.5 movies on the Hallmark Channel for Valentine's Day since I was sitting here alone. Not even, well, did that last movie start at, that last movie that I had seen before with Danica McKellar started at 11 at night? I was going to watch the skating and I watched the movie instead until the power went out. One of the movies I watched was the one I saw yesterday, but I was having trouble with my ADD paying attention. It's still snowing in Dallas. What's with the rolling outages in Dallas? Why are they turning the power off in Dallas, like as opposed to the ice taking down the power lines like here, where then the power goes out? And in California, sometimes they would turn off the power so the wildfires wouldn't spread. But why are they having rolling outages in Dallas? That means they're turning off the power on purpose. Why are they doing that? Do you know? And who wants to help me get 30 more live views? So I don't have to sit on here not for 9 hours another day to get my views. Since I'm actually talking about current breaking news, power outages in Portland, Oregon. It's like, oh my God, the world is ending. But it is news. I mean, there hasn't been an ice storm like this and snow and ice. Like people freak out here because it doesn't snow that much and they don't have as much equipment. But these ice storms are really dangerous. Like the ice is more dangerous than the snow. It doesn't make sense about Dallas? Well, they said rolling outages in Texas. Does that include Dallas? You were off, but did your power go off because, like, I have to sleep with medical equipment, and if I don't have power, I have to sleep sitting up because I can't use it with no backup battery. But yours was off when you were sleeping. But why? Did they turn it off? But they're on now. But when they say rolling outages, rolling means they're doing it on purpose as opposed to it going out for some reason like the power had ice and the ice took and the transformer blew. Like, but you don't know, but you don't know. You says, see, even that when the back light goes off, there's how does that backlight that's behind the backlight is helping light this broadcast, but the light's behind, it's in front of me, it's not behind me. You see it reflected in my glasses. You have no idea? All right. And what I need to do if the power comes back on is charge all of my backup batteries for my phone and then try and order a backup battery for my sleep apnea equipment. It costs like $180 if you go through a medical supply store, but apparently Radio Shack has the same type of battery for $60. So I need to actually pick up the phone and call Radio Shack and find out. Call the medical supply and call Radio Shack and get myself one of those batteries so that I can use my equipment if the power goes out in the future. Your battery is running low, you might want to plug in your PC. The computer just warned me that I should plug in my PC. Plug it into what? There's no power here. You're going to go to Google and check? Okay. How low? It's giving me a warning. Now it's down to 10%, 15 minutes remaining. And the phone's at 5%. All right, this is a point where a person that shows wisdom would say, I'm going to wait for Heavenly Dew to come right back, and then I'm going to end this broadcast because it's not worth risking safety over 30 more viewers. That's when you hashtag priorities. I'm going to wait for Heavenly Dew. I'll give him 2 minutes to come back, and then I'm going to shut this broadcast down. Because the phone's at 4%, because it's going to die anyway, and yeah. I tend to have the addictive personality. I'm going to keep going, and it's not healthy. And in this case, Heavenly Dew said, let me check. Google, be right back. I will be courteous and wait for 2 minutes, but that's it. It's 2:31. At 2:33 or when Heavenly Dew comes back, I'm out. But thank you for keeping me company. I mean, maybe I should have just watched the skating, but I'll watch it tomorrow. Rotating blackouts are controlled temporary interruptions enacted as a last resort in an effort to conserve power and meet statewide demand. And why? Because the demand was up because it's so cold there? Oh, thank you. Yeah, there's no heat right now because the power is out. And that's when you want to keep your refrigerator closed so you keep the cold in the refrigerator and freezer. All right. But when they do that as a last resort, people that have medical equipment can't use it. Yeah. All right. Thank you for tuning in. Please follow me on Haps if you're not. And I'm going to hang this up. I only need 19 more viewers, but my computer has 12 minutes left and my phone is at 3%. So I'm going to be smart and set a good example and say goodnight.